When I was a kid, I was told from my early years at school that the world we lived in was plenty of justice, happiness, order, and with an almost faultless system that took care of everyone and everything's business. All of the bad things of the world came always from outside the society. Adults work for living and not the other way around. The two best things one could do were always to tell the truth, be honest with others as well as with yourself, and that creativity was very important. All those things were good and very novel things to do, you know? I really thought that the future would be very bright for all of us. But this is not what we are seeing today, by far. When I grew up, I soon began to realize that there were other things going on in the world, that almost none of these wonderful things was real to me. My waking up started when I was a teenager, just thinking about the day that I realized, as a kid, that Santa Claus and the Three Kings didn't exist at all. Then I became very disillusioned about the fact that the society as a whole could have lied to me in such a systematic way, especially when honesty was so important, they say. Do you see my point? Soon after that, I discovered that too many good people around the world were living in very severe conditions due to war, poverty, starvation, and malnutrition. On the other hand, the world population started to grow exponentially as the newer generation of the society that I lived in had a wealthy, well-educated, and bright future ahead. The wrong thing to me then was that this society was evolving as nothing wrong was happening outside its stratified social bubbles. Furthermore, I discovered that society was operating with methods completely aside of nature. There was the understanding that the country could grow almost infinitely, despite of having this exponential growth of the world population and despite of the pollution of the air, the food, and the diminishing of natural resources and of social interactions in a way never seen before in human history. Society and nature did not speak the same language to me then at all. Furthermore, it was very clear to me that growth was not equal to prosperity. From my own life experience so far, I've learned that, boy, we better be parasites or prostitutes in order to get things done in our lives. Otherwise, I don't know how we can get the things we need as human beings. In other words, true freedom is completely unreal and false to me today. The solution for the lack of life in our current system, which is based on lies, profit, endless growth, and social amnesia, must come from somewhere else. I think that a gradual transition to a completely new system that includes everyone and everything without money, any form of marketing or power poles, gives much more sense to me than trying to propose solutions from within this essentially corrupt, profit-based, and actually collapsing global system. But, as Carl Sagan once pointed out, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidences. So, I think the first step we should take, after waking up of course, is to go to the United Nations with millions and millions of signatures from people around the world to the aim for a global financed and serious experiment as well as a plan to conduct it. This experiment could be the testing of a resource-based economy in a small or medium-sized city. The results that will come from this experiment should be compared independently with our current system. I don't know what the conclusions of such an experiment would be, but I can assure you that, if it turns out that this new economy is much better than the current monetary system, then a large door will be opened for the global implementation of this new system. Why? Well, because the difference will be so profound that it's going to be taken very seriously by every single country on this planet. In such a situation, the country that would oppose this new direction would inevitably be doomed to extinction. We should not be afraid of starting a new system up from scratch as well as proposing practical solutions for our eternal problems as war, poverty, planned obsolescence, planned ineffective technology, environmental issues, etc. Nature is in constant change. That's a fact. There's a fine balance between order and chaos. High entropy in one place requires low entropy in the other place to exist, and the other way around. We are not just part of nature, we are the consciousness of nature itself. Therefore we must be in constant change. Sooner or later we will find our balance with nature and with ourselves. That's the true human nature, always to search that balance.